In Austin, I'm Mark Mullins. Well, state leaders are pushing for chapters of Turning Point USA on every high school and college campus in Texas. That's the conservative youth organization co-founded by the late activist Charlie Kirk. Adam Bennett shows us the campaign cash one top elected official is pledging to make it happen and the pushback from some educators.
Governor Greg Abbott says 500 high schools in Texas now have Turning Point chapters. Now, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is pledging $1 million in campaign cash to try to expand it to all of the state's high schools and colleges.
How y'all doing?
The two leaders announced that plan with a top Turning Point official Monday afternoon outside the governor's mansion. Members of the group's high school chapters from all over Texas stood behind them. Supporters say Kirk was a champion of free speech. Opponents called many of his previous comments hateful. Governor Abbott responded to a question about what he would say to families who feel like the state is mandating politics in schools.
What a lot about Club America and TPUSA is not in a particular political party or anything like that, is articulate, listen, this is about values. This is about constitutional principles. This is about a restoration of who we are as a country.
A new state law that took effect in September bans student clubs, quote, based on sexual orientation or gender identity. The law also requires parental permission for students to join clubs that are allowed. Zeph Capo with Texas American Federation of Teachers thinks Turning Point chapters should not be on high school campuses.
I find it really ironic that the trio of people that have been claiming that public schools have been indoctrinating students for the last couple of years, the people, their teachers and others who have no power in the system whatsoever to actually make policy decisions, are now using their bully pulpits, using their elected positions to mandate the types of clubs and the types of political positions that are going to happen in our public schools.
The governor also warned that any high school that stands in the way of a Turning Point club should be reported to the Texas Education Agency. Abbott added he, quote, would expect meaningful disciplinary action to be taken. TEA Commissioner Mike Morath said as of Monday afternoon, his agency had not received any such reports. Reporting in downtown Austin, Adam Bennett, KVUE News.
Well, some voters in Ulen are pushing for the removal of their mayor. Last week, Ulen Mayor Lacey Duke was arrested and charged with the misapplication of fiduciary property, which is a second-degree felony. Here's reporter Jessica Cha.
It's a small town about 5 miles east of Kyle, right on the Hayes-Caldwell County line. The sign coming into town shows that the city of Ulen has about 1,000 residents. So their city park, the city hall, the city dump, and the police station are all on the same plot of land. So some neighbors say that this is a lot of big town drama for such a small city.
It's going to get around. I mean, it's in the papers, so everybody is going to hear about it.
Deborah Ray says she heard the news about the mayor of Ulen getting arrested last week from her son.
He had said, Mom, he says, did you hear about the mayor? And I said, what mayor? To be honest, I didn't even realize we had a mayor.
Ulen voters elected Lacey Duke mayor back in May. And just last week, Texas Rangers arrested her for allegedly misusing city money. According to our partners at the Austin American-Statesman, the charge stems from a $250,000 payment to Old Town Ulen LLC, tied to the 2024 Ulen Fall Fest. We asked the mayor to comment on the situation, and in a text she told us, I have a right to the presumption of innocence. I am innocent and I intend to work vigorously to prove my innocence. That is all I have to state at this time. But the arrest leaves neighbors like Ray questioning the mayor's leadership.
If she got arrested for doing what she did or what they think she did, I have no trust at all.
And she's not alone. Someone with the username of Residents of Ulen started a Change.org petition to remove Duke from her position. It's already gathered 201 signatures out of 500.
That was Jessica Cha reporting. Georgetown police believe someone deliberately set a fire at a home where 2 bodies were found Friday. Firefighters were called to the home in the Sun City neighborhood Friday night around 10:30. Inside the home, first responders found 2 men dead. They have been identified as 76-year-old James Yost and 33-year-old Kenneth Clanton. Georgetown police are treating this as a double homicide and want anyone with information to call them. Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis is taking a national de-escalation training to a new level in her department. And one instructor will bring his firsthand experience from a controversial shooting case to fellow officers as a trainer. Here's senior reporter Tony Plahetsky.
This program has been used in about 140 departments across the nation. It emphasizes situations involving people who are not armed with a firearm and who are suffering a mental health crisis.
Drop the knife. Sir, drop the knife.
This is video from the Camden County, New Jersey Police Department, now used in police training across the nation. It shows police following a man suffering a mental health episode with a knife down a city street. Police follow him patiently until finally using tasers and safely moving in. No one got hurt.
What this does, ICAT, is you and I have an interaction. You're going home and I'm going home. And so that is what the new culture talks about, is everybody's going home, where the sanctity of human life is valued.
This is the type of de-escalation used in a training program called Integrating Communications, Assessment, and Tactics, ICAT for short, that Police Chief Lisa Davis hopes to infuse in her department.
This gives the officers another tool, because bad things happen when officers don't have the tools they need to respond to calls.
Starting January 1st, Austin officers will begin working under a new use of force policy that infuses principles from the ICAT training. Every police cadet and every supervisor and officer will also have to go through the training over the next few months. One of the instructors, Officer Carl Allred, who shot and killed a man in a high-profile, controversial shooting in 2019.
To me, Carl gives an excellent story that he can tell about what it could mean to de-escalate and to be in that environment and what that all looks like.
Allred last month signed an unusual arrangement with Travis County prosecutors who agreed to dismiss murder and deadly conduct charges against him and the shooting death of neuroscientist Dr. Morris Da Silva, if he agreed to teach ICAT training.
I think this is a good opportunity to kind of talk about, what he's been through, what transpired, and how we move forward.
Officer Allred was one of two officers who shot Dr. Da Silva that day in 2019. The other, Officer Christopher Taylor, was convicted and sentenced to 2 years behind bars. He is appealing. Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza has said that the deal involving Officer Allred will, quote, strengthen public safety, enhance accountability, and build community trust. In a statement, the family of Dr. Da Silva has said that while they are disappointed by how prosecutors resolved Officer Allred's case, they support better training to ensure that, quote, what happened to Dr. Da Silva never happens again. An independent analysis of the results of the ICAT training shows it has reduced by at least 25% use of force incidents, injuries to suspects, and an even sharper decrease in injuries to officers. Tony Plahetsky, KVUE News.
And those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Mark Mullins.
I'm Bailey Bates, and here are your headlines from Central Texas. There was a new concerning uptick in livestock theft, and it's targeting rural areas in southern Bell County. Our Cindy Walker has more from law enforcement on what they're calling an active black market for meat and tips on how to keep your cattle safe.
It started as a routine traffic stop here in Florence at the intersection of 195 and 487. It was for a trailer with their lights not on. But what officers found inside were 3 steers with their throats slit. 3 steer are just the latest losses in a rising issue.
I was 15 years as a meat producer, processor.
Bell County Constable Chris Bazar has experience. He believes the alleged cattle thieves had plans.
You know what you're doing, and you can lure animals to a fence like that, and you're tooled for it, as these individuals were. You can be in and out in less than 5 minutes.
Bazar said Williamson County and Bell County Sheriff's offices are investigating, along with rangers from the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association.
It's definitely on the uptick, and it has been for a while.
A growing concern across the state.
Those 3 steers probably worth over $2,000 a piece, so that's $7,000 in that trailer.
Commissioner Sid Miller with the Texas Department of Agriculture said the steers' throats were a dead giveaway.
That indicates they were going to butcher them and resell the meat.
Bazar believes there's a very active black market for meat.
It's being stolen, and it's being delivered in some form or fashion under the radar.
While cattle theft is an issue across the state, Miller doesn't think black market meat is.
How do you market stolen beef that's been processed? I don't know any restaurant that would want to take a chance of making their customers sick.
And he suggests small changes to stay safe.
Don't feed them in the corrals right by the county road or the public highway. Some of the wiser cattlemen use sirens. You can buy a cattle siren that sounds quite different than anything else.
Constable Bazar says to reach out to him with any details that could be helpful. And as always, if you witness something occurring, call 911. In Florence, Sydney Walker, 6 News.
Continuing coverage, the investigation into the suspended Fort Hood OBGYN Major Blaine McGraw continues. McGraw is still an inmate of the U.S. Army at the Bell County Jail. National Trial Law sent a letter to Texas Representatives Roger Williams and John Carter, along with Senators Ted Cruz and John Cornyn, urging them to request a Department of Defense Inspector General investigation. Attorney Jamal Al-Safar with National Trial Law now represents more than a dozen alleged victims from both Fort Hood and Hawaii. He says it's critical the investigation is independent, not conducted by the Army itself.
We need to flip it from avoiding responsibility and blaming the victim and instead protecting the military women in our armed services.
This comes as Hawaii's congressional delegation also demanded answers, sending their own letter to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the DoD. The DoD Inspector General's office told 6 News it's received the Hawaii letter and is reviewing it. In a statement to 6 News, the Pentagon says it will respond directly to Congress. A new era of Baylor athletics has officially begun. The Baylor Bears welcomed Doug McNamee Monday afternoon as their new athletic director. He is a 2-time Baylor grad returning to lead the Bears' athletic department. He spent nearly a decade at Baylor overseeing fundraising, marketing, and playing a key role in the opening of McLean Stadium before leaving in 2018. Since then, he's led national brands, serving as president of Magnolia, based out of Waco, and most recently, president of Field & Stream, to grow their media and retail platforms. McNamee says coming back to his alma mater is special and has been overwhelming with emotion for the opportunity.
It's too good of a dream to be true, and it's an honor of a lifetime. And I can just tell you that when I left Baylor 7 years ago, I'd say kind of the objective for me, professional journey, was always to get to this job. The objective for me today isn't to get this job. The objective is to be successful and to deliver the athletic department that the president and the Board of Regents has asked us to deliver. And I will give every ounce of energy to doing exactly that.
Baylor said during a press conference Monday that they are excited to have somebody at the helm who is familiar with the program history. They are hoping that McNamee's hiring will help give them a new mindset and help focus on acquiring NIL deals. Those are your headlines from Central Texas.
Hi, I'm Leslie Adamy in Corpus Christi, and here's a look at some of what's happening in South Texas. A multi-state manhunt has finally come to an end in Corpus Christi. CCPD says they have arrested Kevin Kistler, a fugitive wanted in 4 different states. He has been on the run since November. Kistler is believed to be affiliated with a violent prison gang and has an extensive list of charges across Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. The most severe of those including aggravated assault, vehicle theft, and a parole violation. Delaware police sent word to Corpus Christi PD that a fugitive may be living in our area. The CCPD gang unit later found Kistler along with a stolen car. He was taken into custody and is due back in Pennsylvania this week to answer for his charges there. And as holiday travel picks up, many families are looking for a trusted place to leave their pets. One Corpus Christi couple is now sharing a painful warning after one of their dogs died while in the care of a local boarding business. Alexis Green has their story.
The Pease family should be reliving the joy of their destination wedding right now. Instead, they're reliving a nightmare.
And this was our wedding cake topper, actually.
For the couple, one of the hardest decisions of wedding planning came down to the choice to board their 2 doodles for the first time.
I cried when I dropped off our pets because I've never dropped off our babies. We're a newly married couple, and We really care for them. They're like our children.
With friends and family traveling out of the country for their ceremony, boarding seemed like their only option. They chose the Ruffin Lodge in Calallen and dropped their dogs off, expecting a safe temporary stay. But on the very morning of their wedding day, the unthinkable happened. Their 1-year-old doodle Bailey was involved in a serious accident.
I was getting ready, as a bride does, and so I didn't have my phone on me. We were in another country, and he told me after our ceremony, and we just sat together and just cried and cried. And
Bailey was rushed to Oso Creek Animal Hospital for critical treatment, but she didn't survive.
They shaved her all down so they could be able to see the extent of her injuries. And after I saw those photos, I just immediately broke down.
To this day, the Pease family says they still don't know what happened inside the lodge. They made an incident report with the sheriff's deputy, and 3 News reached out for comment from the boarding facility, which they declined.
Another dog just attacked her and mauled her, and I don't know if it was a split second or 20, 30 minutes. We have no idea.
The Peases say the facility covered Bailey's medical costs and never charged them for boarding, but they received no cooperation in an investigation, leaving them without answers and closure. With the busy holiday boarding season approaching, they're speaking out, urging pet owners to be cautious.
We would encourage people to look at the comprehensive pictures.
According to Katie Galan with the Better Business Bureau, the key is checking multiple sources.
So don't just go to one source to look at those reviews because you don't know, right? You might have some adjustments to those reviews. You might have some people that are persuaded to make positive reviews.
Galan warns that not all businesses are listed on the BBB, and some third-party sites are managed by the business themselves.
Something kind of unique about our review and complaint process is that we actually scrub those complaints. We make sure that they're legitimate marketplace complaints. So, and then once those complaints are up, whether they get addressed by that business owner or not, they stay up for 2 years.
She says a business's responsiveness to those complaints also impacts their rating, a key factor in building trust. As for the Pease family, their message is simple. Do your research and understand that tragedy can happen to anyone, even when you think you're making the safest choice.
Not anywhere near the same dog we dropped off.
Alexis Green reporting there. And that's a quick look at some of what's happening here in South Texas.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Grace Thornton. Here's your Texas weather headlines as we continue on another week here in Texas. So it's going to be another cold morning on Tuesday for most of us across the state, but above average temperatures are also in the forecast. Eventually, we are going to cool things down once again, but we got to wait a little while for that. So waking up on Tuesday morning, we've got plenty of cool temperatures out there from the 40s to the 30s well across the state, and with the exception of those very far southern areas. We get a flip of wind flow in from the south and east for your Tuesday afternoon. This is going to help us warm things up for Del Rio, Laredo, especially down towards the Brownsville area, but will also help out temperatures for San Antonio, up to Austin, even up to Dallas for your Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures overnight Wednesday are going to be not as cold as what we were dealing with for our Tuesday morning. So here's a look at the next 3 days of high temperatures across the area. You can see a general warming trend for pretty much everyone. We will have another cold front swinging through Wednesday into Thursday of this week, which will briefly dip down some temperatures, mostly for the Panhandle as well as portions of central Texas, but we all in all should see warm afternoons. So as we head towards Wednesday, no rain chances, lots of sunshine for the state of Texas, but further into the week, Friday, Saturday, maybe even Sunday, some very light rain chances will start to track through the central and eastern portions of the state. Now let's talk about that cold front. Again, a minor cold front coming through Wednesday into early Thursday. This will briefly bring down temperatures for Thursday morning. 45 for Austin. We're looking at the 40s and 30s as we stretch up towards the Texas Panhandle and West Texas. And then we have another cold front that is a bit wonky, we'll just say that, because we haven't really been able to iron out the timeline for this. It looks like that's going to enter at least Friday morning. However, that front looks as if it will stall out Friday and Saturday, leading to warmer temperatures on the south side. So very warm for San Antonio, Laredo, down towards Brownsville for your Friday afternoon. And on Saturday afternoon, we could even see potentially 80-degree highs for areas in central Texas. And then on the flip side, things are pretty much seasonal for areas up towards the north and west. That cold front finally will swing through Saturday into Sunday, and we should see a cool down once again. That cool down will be short-lived as we head into the 6 to 10 day temperature period. Above average temperatures are expected pretty much all across Texas, with exception for those very far eastern areas. And then if we're looking at the potential for precipitation, we haven't had a lot of that across Texas in a while, at least consistently. We should get some additional chances for rain close to Austin, down towards San Antonio, and even further south. Speaking of the south end of Texas, that is where the drought still exists in severe to even extreme and exceptional categories down towards the Big Bend area. So we'll be watching and waiting for that extra rainfall. Over the state for the next couple of days, we're looking at 60s to 70s, mostly for those high temperatures. No real rain chances as we head through Wednesday. On Thursday, a few of us could see a couple of drops of rain depending on where you are, but all in all, it looks like a calm, really tranquil start to this next week.
I'm Chris Lawrence in Dallas with your headlines from North Texas. Burglars hit a popular skate shop in East Dallas, and some owners nearby tell us the same man tried to break into their businesses too. At least 3 of them shared surveillance video and images with WFAA. And as Luke Clary explains, they're losing their sense of security.
Small businesses skate by on tight margins. So imagine seeing this on your in-store surveillance system.
He goes straight for the money, not just the bills. Like, he took the pennies and everything. He's just scooping it out.
Ben Sharon has owned the Rec Shop on Grand Avenue in East Dallas for 21 years. He said this one stung.
How much did you lose? Got about $1,000 from us. We had a little too much money in the register.
And he's not alone. Weeks later, and about a mile away,
I think he used the hammer to try to pry the door open.
Sean Jett's backdoor camera caught this attempted break-in at the Humble Pie shop.
But thankfully, the steel door kept him out.
At one point, the man looks right at the camera. The businesses started sharing these pictures and videos with each other, a kind of neighborhood watch for small shops, trying to stop the break-ins before there's another one.
Another business owner on this block says they believe that same person broke into their shop and stole the cash out of the register. It wasn't a lot of money, but they said they felt violated.
Sean feels the same way.
It's violating. It really is.
Why share this? What's your hope?
Hopefully we can figure out who this character is and keep him from doing this again.
Somebody out there needs to recognize this guy. He's here in this area. He's hitting businesses around here.
For these small businesses, hits like this throw everything off balance. Looking out for each other might be their strongest defense. In Dallas, I'm Luke Clary.
A prominent Democrat from Dallas is launching her Senate campaign. Representative Jasmine Crockett built her profile by taking tough stands against Republicans, many of which have gone viral. That garnered a massive following on social media as well as a large group of donors. She entered her last race with $4 to $5 million on hand, and Crockett claims her internal polling shows she has a real shot at winning next year.
There's a responsibility that lies with all of us, especially in this moment. There are a lot of people that said, you gotta stay in the house. We need our voice. We need you there. And I understand. But what we need is for me to have a bigger voice. What we need is not only a voice, but we need to make sure that we are going to stop all the hell that is raining down on all of our people.
Now, Republicans say Crockett's candidacy could energize their base as well. Senator John Cornyn is running for re-election, but is being opposed in the Republican primary by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and Representative Wesley Hunt. Crockett is running against State Representative James Tallarico in the Democratic primary. but not former Congressman Colin Allred. He just abandoned his Senate run and run for a newly drawn district in East Dallas. As Scoop Jefferson reports, the race is heating up between Allred and Julie Johnson in District 33.
I'll just say a few words.
Colin Allred spent Monday morning adding his name for the Democratic primary race, hoping to become the party's candidate for a newly drawn congressional district.
Now, we can't afford to go into this election divided.
Allred hopes to win the March 2026 primary after redistricting in Texas. After a newly Republican-drawn map, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett announced her run for U.S. Senate, opening the door for Allred to run for Congress again.
That means that we have to have the best players on the field to actually go to Congress and to fight back. We'll have fewer voices there, but we can have stronger ones.
I feel like I have the results and, the track record.
A strong voice for District 33 is what Representative Julie Johnson promises for voters. Redistricting gave Republicans the advantage in Johnson's old district. Like Allred, her political history includes upsetting a Republican stronghold district, now hoping history repeats itself.
In a primary and had a very handy, stout win. And I've come to Congress and I've tried to really put our campaign promises into action.
The newly drawn Texas District 33 is part of a statewide map to help Republicans pick up 5 more congressional seats, a move the Supreme Court ruled illegal, and a move that has 2 well-known Democrats already promising to tackle voter issues.
Which is healthcare, which is housing.
Focusing more on working people and affordability.
Primary campaigning starts immediately for both Allred and Johnson. For now, political opponents.
He's hopscotching around to try to find something to run in.
Listen, I think it's not about her. It's not about anyone else.
As both candidates work for new District 33 voter support for the next 3 months. In Dallas County, I'm Scoop Jefferson.
The UNT Mean Green had a disappointing end to their historic season, and now they're introducing a new head coach. Dia Walt was there to hear from Neil Brown firsthand on why he wanted to live in North Texas and how much money the team can spend.
It's a new day in Denton.
It's my pleasure today to welcome and help me introduce your new UNT football coach, Coach Neil Brown.
As the former head football coach at Troy and West Virginia University, and most recently, special assistant at Texas, makes his debut.
I say this, and I don't say this lightly. I'm extremely grateful. I'm humbled. I'm excited to stand in front of you as the next head football coach at North Texas.
Recognizing his family first.
We're a family of educators. My wife was elementary school teacher, my dad high school principal, my mom elementary school librarian, Pat elementary school kindergarten teacher, and then Morris was a high school principal, coach, teacher as well.
Coach Brown starting his tenure at UNT with a look back.
I want to start by congratulating Coach Morris. And I think the goal in our profession is to leave a place better than you found it. And today, there's no question, he leaves North Texas better than he found it.
What about North Texas specifically, not only for you as a coach at this program here at North Texas, but for your family?
From a family perspective, is giving our oldest will be going to college, but giving our 14-year-old daughter and our 10-year-old son a place that's a great place to live. Quality schools. Things to do, quality athletic programs for them to be a part of, whether it's club soccer, baseball. So this area has it all.
Brown addressed the Mean Green ahead of their bowl game on December 27th. Next, tackling the transfer portal and NIL to build the 2026 roster.
I call it balling on a budget. We might ball on a little smaller budget, but we're still going to ball.
In Denton, I'm Dia Wall.
This week, we caught up with a couple of Dallas Cowboys out spreading holiday joy at children's hospitals in North Texas. They stopped by 4 hospitals in Dallas and Fort Worth, giving patients a stocking gift bag loaded with goodies from the team.
It's a very rewarding feeling just to be able to hit these halls and to put smiles on faces just from even my presence or just a simple, hey, something I never take for granted. Sunglasses and pictures.
We asked Dak who gets the most out of this, him or the kids. He says definitely him, given all the smiles he saw that day. For a lot of families, mine included, the elf on the shelf is a tradition we look forward to every year. But what happens when a family's elf fails to show up on their assigned day? Enter the Little Elm PD.
Who is that?
Mr. Elf? He was in the wrong house. What was he doing?
Little Zaylee was extremely excited to see he was all right. Officers scooped up the elf and even provided a solid alibi, letting Zaylee know he's been at the wrong house for the past 6 days. I'm sure Mom is breathing a big sigh of relief right now. And those are your headlines from North Texas.
Let's take a look at today's headlines from Houston. I'm Ron Trevino. Residents of an apartment complex in the Meyerland area, whose units barely escaped a fire last week, are dealing with alleged burglaries days later. They say crooks struck their units at the Life at Jackson Square apartments while they were temporarily relocated. Jason Miles visited the complex off North Braeswood.
The city of Houston previously sued this complex, declaring it a nuisance because of past issues. Now there are new issues for some. Days after fire ripped through part of the Life at Jackson Square apartments, some whose adjacent units were left relatively intact could not withstand another threat.
This is a whole lot. Now we come to this.
This resident, who did not want to be identified, reached out to us about multiple apparent burglaries, discovered this morning when she and others came to collect items after being temporarily relocated because of structural and other concerns. They shared photos of doors that appeared to have been kicked in and broken door frames.
We can access our things, but others that doesn't live there are accessing our property. That's insane.
They say items stolen range from electronics to clothing, even birthday and holiday gifts.
They told us that the apartment was going to be secure. They told us that they was going to have security 24/7 to be able to watch.
These burglaries come a couple of months after I reported another one at the complex, during which a beloved dog's ashes were among the things stolen. There was also a home invasion that was caught on camera and shared by HPD in an attempt to identify the suspects. All of it following a lawsuit filed by the city of Houston aimed at forcing management to address ongoing issues.
Our apartment was totally flipped.
Now, residents who say some improvements were actually underway are looking to permanently relocate. I did confirm that HPD came and took reports on these burglaries. Meanwhile, I also reached out to complex management. The only response? No comment. On the southwest side, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
Federal prosecutors say a Houston area tech firm is the first charged under Operation Gatekeeper, a crackdown on illegal exports of high-end U.S. technology. On Monday, the U.S. attorney announced the owner of a Houston-based company, Howe Global, pleaded guilty to an illegal exporting operation. The company is accused of conspiring to send $160 million worth of high-performance computer chips to China. The U.S. Attorney's Office says these processors are some of the most powerful in the world, capable of running military-grade artificial intelligence used for drones, weapons design, and intelligence analysis.
The stakes are high. The country that controls these chips will dominate AI. And the country that dominates AI will lead the future. The Southern District of Texas will find and prosecute anyone who attempts to undermine America's technological superiority.
And 2 others have been arrested in Operation Gatekeeper. Officials say they helped relabel and reseal packages so computer chips could be illegally exported. Authorities say the owner of Howe Global faces up to 10 years in prison with sentencing set for February. In other local news, the Houston Avenue Bridge was struck for the 73rd, that's right, the 73rd time this year. An 18-wheeler hit the bridge Monday morning while heading east on the Katy Freeway, sending heavy machinery flying off the bed of his truck. Orko Manna shows the safety system that's in place and why some say it may not be enough.
It's a sight we've seen time and time again. Air 11 showing an 18-wheeler off the side of the Katy Freeway after striking the Houston Avenue Bridge around 9:30 this morning. Heavy machinery falling into the roadway from the bed of the truck. TxDOT tells me this is the 73rd bridge strike here just this year. Is it a concern that this will happen when you're driving?
Oh, of course. And Houstonians, we're fantastic people, but we're really aggressive drivers. So I'm concerned that people aren't gonna aren't paying attention to even equipment on the road.
TxDOT maintains the issue is that many semi-trucks and oversized loads are operating without the necessary permits that designate approved travel routes, and some drivers are just ignoring those routes. To deal with that, TxDOT installed oversized load detection systems on I-10, including at Wirt and Mercury. Here's how they work. Infrared sensors that look like this are mounted on exit sign poles. If they detect the threshold height has been exceeded, an automatic alert is triggered and the technology activates warning signs that are down the freeway. The signs will flash and tell drivers where they need to exit.
It's a disaster kind of waiting to happen.
But some drivers say the system is not good enough. Do you think TxDOT needs to be doing more?
At 100%. I mean, if it's happening 73 times, then yes, they need to be doing more.
It seems like somebody is asleep at the wheel, for lack of a better analogy. Somebody is asleep at the wheel for it to happen that often.
TxDOT crews assessing the structural integrity of the bridge once again today. As that happens, drivers hope more changes are on the way.
Those people are working hard to do, to find solutions, I'm sure. If they don't, that's risky business.
Again, that was Orko Manna reporting. How about some sports now? The UH Cougars will be here at home in the Kinder Texas Bowl at NRG Stadium. Their opponent, the LSU Tigers, who are making their 4th appearance in this bowl game. Troy Klesch shows how the impact of this game goes well beyond the gridiron.
The Cougs and Tigers will be battling it out here at NRG Stadium, which will likely draw large crowds from fans of both schools.
Those connected to UH, including Ori Limbrick, looking back on a successful season.
It was definitely exciting seeing them getting raked again, and especially with the bowl game coming up against LSU, it's definitely been an exciting season.
A potential exclamation point added for the university.
Yeah, it's amazing to be able to play just 4 miles from campus.
Mike Paday, Associate Vice President for Alumni Relations, says the excitement is brewing.
The texts are going, how do I get there? How do I get a suite? How do I get tickets?
The last time the Cougs played in the Texas Bowl was 18 years ago, which bowl organizers say has generated more than $30 million annually for the city of Houston.
I mean, the impact is kind of immeasurable, right? There's an economic impact, there's an academic impact, there's a sports impact, there's a merchandising impact. Our alums just generally get more engaged.
Limbrick, a soon-to-be alum, hoping his university can continue building off their recent sports success.
It's a special moment. I mean, you can see the growth around the campus with the buildings and everything. They're trying to make big improvements as far as the brand behind U of H.
Looking on Ticketmaster tonight, tickets for the Kinder's Texas Bowl start at just around $90 for the game on December 27th. At NRG Stadium, Troy Klesch, KHOU 11 News.
Hey, go Cougs. That's a wrap of your Houston headlines. I'm Ron Trevino.
I'm Seasonal Meadow, and this is the news in San Antonio. A 4-year-old boy is dead after being shot inside his own home. Police are now trying to figure out what happened. Officers were called to the home on Windstone Creek just after 3 Monday. Police say the boy was home with his mother and father. Then came 2 911 calls from the parents. Officers found the father performing life-saving measures on his son. He was rushed to the hospital, where he died. Police detained the parents and will interview them to determine what happened. 5 months after the deadly Hill Country flooding, the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country gave an update on flood recovery. Meredith Haas spoke with organizers about what comes next.
Part of the next steps include continuing accessibility to mental health resources, along with quality housing and reaching people with unmet needs.
We manage philanthropic resources and distribute those resources.
While the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country brings in over $100 million in donations, their goal today was to remind everyone of the support backing their mission to rebuild.
We've been so focused on helping everybody else, we do forget to think about our own mental health.
Brittany Cranford with the Centerpoint Alliance felt firsthand the need for continuing support.
Reality is on the ground, not in the headlines.
Today, Cranford and other nonprofit organizers and community advocates were reminded the importance of watching out for their own well-being.
People want to share their experience of what it's like to be participating in the recovery with one another.
Well, what you taught me today is that it is okay to correlate.
People in the audience sharing what pains them to this day.
Restoring hope
Austin Dixon, CEO of the Community Foundation, telling KENS 5 Kerr County is most likely facing a $1 billion problem.
A lot of decisions this week about some grant applications before various councils and our Board of Trustees.
More grants, funds, and support to be provided monetarily, but emotionally too. But even the foundation can't do it alone.
We're going to need levers of federal government and state government
to keep the momentum going, like how Cranford's organization has.
Construction has started on 10 houses.
How we go on after difficult situations.
And for Cranford and the room full of people just like her, they will continue to inspire her to lift her community up in Center Point.
And it doesn't matter if you're from Ingram or Center Point, we're all one now.
The foundation plans to continue supporting nonprofits and case managers along with local leaders as this process continues for as long as they need. Reporting in Kerrville, Meredith Haas, KENS 5.
Relief is starting to flow for all the people displaced by a fast-moving apartment fire in Universal City over the weekend. Sue Kalberg has the latest.
The manager here says the rush is on to find new places for the displaced and fix the damage.
You know, we haven't really been in a fire like this.
Vicki Sears wasn't home, but she says Pee Wee and Willie were when fire raced through the Falcon Ridge apartments. She says she has no idea what she'll find when she's allowed to return.
We're just going to count our blessings that we weren't at home.
It was traumatizing.
Roland Decker says he grabbed his 3 young sons and then tried to help others.
So we ran around to the front and tried to help people get their stuff downstairs to save them from losing everything.
His apartment didn't burn, but they're still coping with the aftermath.
Out of power, gas, we can't have no hot water, can't cook nothing.
The investigation into the cause of the fire continues. Those who suffered significant losses are getting help at the First Baptist Church on Pat Booker Road. The church is collecting clothing, baby items, snacks, toys, and more, and the Red Cross is helping to coordinate care.
At KENS5.com, we have more information about how you can help the fire victims. In Universal City, Sue Kalberg, KENS 5.
A woman is dead and her boyfriend was shot multiple times after a family argument. Mike Jimenez has the story.
Police tell us this all started when 2 brothers started arguing in the backyard of a house.
Officers say it was just before 4 Sunday afternoon when they responded to a shooting at a house on Gazelle Drive near Vance Jackson. Police say there were 4 people in the backyard, 2 brothers, one with his wife and the other brother with his girlfriend. Officers say the brothers have a history of fighting with each other and family violence, but this time things got out of control.
The 2 brothers were fighting. One brother seen the other brother allegedly reaching for something, and that brother who seen the other brother reaching for something, he pulled his gun out and shot the brother.
Officers say the suspect who shot his brother then turned the gun on his brother's girlfriend, shooting and killing her.
The wife of the suspect, she's the only witness right now, and so she's been taken down to headquarters to be questioned.
Investigators say both victims were shot multiple times, and all of the people involved in the shooting were in their mid to late 20s. We spoke with a neighbor off camera who says she heard 5 gunshots. Another neighbor we spoke with says the neighborhood is no stranger to gun violence.
It's not something out of the ordinary. I mean, we hear gunshots all the time, and it's scary because I have kids and I've lived here for 37 years and it never gets any better. Seems like it's getting worse, actually.
The brother who did survive the shooting was taken to the hospital in unknown condition, but police say he is cooperating with the investigation. And the wife of the suspect was taken downtown for questioning.
Police say a pit bull at the home was acting aggressively towards police, and they had to shoot and kill the dog. The suspect is facing charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and a murder charge. Mike Jimenez, KENS 5.
A business was left with a lot of damage after a car crashed into the building. Witnesses say it happened after a driver accidentally hit the gas pedal. It happened Monday morning on Walsham Road near Loop 410. The car went through the store, squeezing between 2 columns and exited the building. The business was open at the time, but no one was hurt. Windcrest police are investigating. And that's the news in San Antonio.
Here are your headlines from Southeast Texas. I'm Mark Armstrong. We're continuing to follow a story out of Orange less than a week after a devastating fire destroyed their church. Members of El Bethel Missionary Baptist say that they are determined to keep worshiping together. These members say that they are leaning on their faith and the support of their community. For yesterday's Sunday morning service, they gathered at Sparrow Funeral Home. Pastor Ricky Guillory says that the funeral home's owner, Wayne Sparrow, has been a friend of his for the past 15 years. So when he offered to open his doors to Guillory's congregation, it didn't come as a surprise. Guillory says although there were several other churches who also offered their buildings, time constraints led them to holding their 11 a.m. Sunday service at Sparrow.
We just thankful. We just want to say thank you to him and his wife for opening the doors for our congregation. For our elderly members, it's tough because some of them been here with the church over 30 some odd years. And so it's tough to see their building catch a fire and burn to the ground and they don't have a place to go.
Pastor Guillory says Sunday services are going to continue at Sparrow and Wednesday night's Bible study is going to be streamed online. There's a link to the church's GoFundMe on 12newsnow.com if you'd like to help.
It's truly something nobody could imagine. So unexpected.
And 12 News received this heart-wrenching video from a friend of LaQuanta Edwards, whose body was found in Beaumont near Terrell Park Friday. She'd been stabbed to death. Edwards' friends and family, they gathered in Houston Saturday night at her alma mater, C.E. King High School. They celebrated and remembered her life with a balloon release. Now, Beaumont police say that Thaddeus McCrae is now facing murder charges in her case. They used cell phone records and physical evidence to identify him as a suspect in Edwards' death. His bond was set at $1.5 million by Jefferson County Magistrate Judge Rick Hughes. McCrae remains in jail. Authorities are still investigating 3 different crime scenes in this case. One of them there near Terrell Park in Beaumont where Edwards' body was found. Another one on Ashley Avenue in Beaumont where her SUV was found. And then a home down the street from there. We'll keep you updated as new developments arise. People in the Hardin-Jefferson ISD community, they are mourning the loss of a teacher. The district confirmed in a Facebook post Sunday that Carol Bourne has died. Now, she was named Teacher of the Year in 2020 and 2021 at China Elementary. The district saying that as the community grieves the loss, they are encouraging anyone needing support to reach out. They say counselors are going to be available on campuses to help students and staff during this difficult time. The district also releasing this statement saying that Mrs. Bourne touched countless lives through her dedication, kindness, unwavering commitment to our students. Officials also asking the community to keep her family, friends, and loved ones in their thoughts. And those were the headlines from Southeast Texas.
Hi, I'm Dan Millay, and here's what's making headlines across East Texas. Tyler ISD students are celebrating a major milestone. The district held celebrations at all 3 high schools as seniors learned just how much merit-based aid they qualified for. CBS 19's Jamie Hazard was there as students and families reacted to the life-changing moment.
It was a historic day across Tyler ISD. More than $1 billion in early college scholarship offers were revealed to seniors at Tyler High, Early College High School, and Tyler Legacy. Jennifer Hines, Tyler ISD Chief Communications Officer, reflected on the celebration.
So this is just an extraordinary day. I mean, we're talking $1.041 billion in scholarships for our seniors at Early College High School, here at Tyler High School, and also at Tyler Legacy. This is a new program and a partnership that Tyler ISD has done, and it's at no cost to the students, and it's just incredible. You should have seen the excitement on their face.
The district says the new merit matching program opens doors students may not have considered and makes college accessible for families across East Texas.
A lot of these colleges may not even be on their radar, and they may not even realize that they could get the kind of merit-based scholarships that they can get through this program. And so this is a way for them to expand their horizons, maybe think outside of the box on where they want to go and what they want to do.
Tyler High School senior Bea Baxter and other students say the financial relief brings peace of mind and for many completely changes their future plans.
It'll be a big relief, a really big help. I won't have to worry about being in a lot of debt when I graduate. I feel like I've been noticed.
And the excitement filled every gym the announcements were made in.
Oh my gosh, you should have seen their faces. They were just so excited. You could hear them screaming with excitement, and you could see the parents like, okay, what'd you get, what'd you get?
In Tyler, I'm Jamie Hazard, CBS 19.
Tyler was buzzing with holiday spirit, families bundled up, kids pointing at floats, and everyone soaking in that Christmas magic. CBS 19's Robert De La Garza takes us into the sights and sounds of a parade that brought the whole community together.
It's all about the holidays and being with your family, and this is one of the best ways to do it. Familiar faces that we have here are Jesus Martinez.
We have a brand new route, so brand new stuff happening. Best seat in the house is here at Rose Stadium.
We came down here. We like to be men of the people. You know, we like to chat with out here and see how they're doing.
We're excited. Last year we sat along the road, so we're excited for the new change of venue and for the drone show.
I mean, it's just an awesome way to get your blood going. You know what I mean? Especially with the weather. I mean, what is y'all's favorite part about this parade?
Oh man, the people, definitely, hands down. We have a blast just watching people, especially the kids, going, ooh, ah, look at that.
I'm just a big kid. I'm just a big kid with the mic that gets to get up here, have a whole lot of fun, and really show the kids that you're never too old, right? Age is just a number.
I'm excited to see the drones make pictures in the sky.
Okay.
I want to see a Lamborghini if I can.
A Lamborghini? Do you think you're going to see Lamborghini today?
Yes. I'm most excited to see Santa Claus and his elves.
Merry Christmas!
And this parade ushers in the Christmas joy here in the city of Tyler.
All I want to say is Merry Christmas and good luck to Hubbard Middle School.
Merry Christmas from East Texas, y'all.
And that's a wrap of your East Texas headlines. I'm Dan Millay.
Here's your forecast for all of Texas. Over this week, we have a gorgeous week ahead with a lot of sunshine. We've got cold mornings coming, but with dry air up above, that means the air can warm up quickly, so we have some perfect afternoons with very pleasant temperatures. Heading into this weekend, pleasant temperatures and a warming trend. Some of us seeing rainfall over this upcoming weekend, and then next week, the dry weather pattern continues as we get closer and closer to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And you see all the sunshine here, all those symbols for all the cities across Texas. Temperatures mostly in the 60s and 70s here, and the temperatures will be warming up as we head through this week. So if you have any holiday shopping to do, great weather for that. Here's the future cast. We'll walk you through it. Starts you out Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. We have mostly cloud-free skies across all of the Lone Star State thanks to high pressure that's firmly in charge of our overall weather pattern. By the end of the day on Tuesday, you'll notice mostly cloud-free skies. Things aren't going to change much from day to day. We're just going to change the temperatures a bit, most of us warming up through the middle of the week. Then the rest of the week, you don't see a whole lot of cloud cover whatsoever until we get to the end of the week. That's when the air pressure starts to weaken a bit. The high pressure moves out, and then we start to see moisture coming back in as the winds switch around to the south. That'll transport some Gulf moisture in here, and we'll see the rain chances coming back into the forecast, especially for South Texas toward the coastal plain and the coastal areas and eastern parts of the state, too, for Dallas and Houston. Those rain chances returning to the forecast as we head into this weekend. We definitely need the rainfall. You can see the drought monitor showing pretty much a mix of drought conditions across the state. Dallas, no drought problems whatsoever there. The Panhandle, not quite that bad, but still, there are some moderate drought conditions in southern parts of the Panhandle. But South Texas and off toward the Rio Grande, that's where the problem areas really are. Around San Antonio, severe to extreme drought conditions. Over towards Houston as well, but the Rio Grande seeing exceptional drought conditions in parts of West Texas. So we really need the rainfall to come in to try to bang some of that drought out, but it's just not happening right now, and we don't see it happening over the next couple of weeks, unfortunately. The rainfall outlook for South Texas, this is once we get beyond the next 7 days, so really the next 7 to 10 days beyond the next week. Above average rain chances coming back into the forecast as we get closer to Christmas. You're not going to see a whole lot, though, over the next week or so. Below average amounts of rainfall for the Panhandle and extreme western parts of the state. In between, though, average amounts of rainfall. Of course, this could change just a little bit. Here is that forecast for you. Western areas, El Paso, Lubbock, Midland, all sunshine for the next 3 days through Thursday. Highs in the 60s and 70s. Central, pretty much the same thing for Austin, Waco, and Fredericksburg, 60s and 70s. Loads of sunshine. Hotter, of course, in the south. Of course, not hot, but we'll say warm. San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Laredo, temperatures mostly in the 60s and 70s for the next couple of days, then into the 80s. And for the northeast and valley, more of the same as well. Lots of sunshine, no rainfall on the forecast in the north. You can see Dallas and also around the Denton area, temperatures for highs in the 60s all 3 days. Houston seeing 60s to 70s. And then in the valley we go, and we have some low 80s for McAllen, Brownsville, and also Mission as we head towards the second part of this work week. Here's that extended forecast. If you're looking ahead into the weekend and the early part of next week, loads of sunshine for the next few days across all of Texas. By the weekend, we do add some more clouds into the forecast, and we also dial up the heat a little bit, especially McAllen and San Antonio. Well, McAllen seeing 86 for a high. San Antonio actually going the other way, going down with rain chances and temperatures dropping from the 70s into the 60s later this week into the weekend. And then once we get beyond that, unfortunately, the dry weather pattern will continue just on the end of this forecast. And you can see Monday, the rain chance moving out, the clouds start to depart, and the sun comes back for the rest of that forecast leading up to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day itself. Have a great rest of your week.